This commenter is saying and asking what a lot of people in the country are saying and asking right now. He's saying, I don't understand. Biden has some of the best economic numbers and legislation in a stuck Congress than any president, regardless of party. I get he's an old guy, but he's been an effective old guy. What he doesn't understand is this rash of people that would normally vote Democrat, this rash of people on the left who just will not vote for him, and how the people on the right can't seem to understand what he's been able to do. And here's the bottom line, and a lot of people aren't going to like it, but it's the fucking truth. People on the right are never going to vote for anybody who's got a D next to their name. The people on the far right, anyway. The people on the far right are just, it doesn't matter what happened. It doesn't matter how bad their guy is. It doesn't matter how successful the other guy has been. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters to the people on the far right other than their cult of personality. So they're never going to vote for a Democrat, no matter who it is. If Donald Trump kept the exact same policies but said, you know what, I'm going to run as a Democrat, they would never vote for him. The people on the center right and the center left, which is where I find myself, I believe that those people look at the elections in a pragmatic sense and they say, I don't particularly care for X, Y, and Z that candidate A did, and I don't particularly care for, A, B, and C that candidate B did. But candidate A checks most of the boxes that I align with, and candidate B checks none of the boxes I align with. So I'm not voting for candidate B. I'm going to vote for candidate A. And then you have people on the far left, and here's where I'm going to piss some people off. But people on the far left, the problem that people on the far left, in my opinion, have is that if you don't agree with them on fucking everything, across the board, bar none, you're out of the club. They're willing to go in and write in Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren or name another fucking candidate instead of voting for Joe Biden because Joe Biden did A and B that they didn't like. From a far left perspective, you could have a candidate that aligns with you on 98% of things. They're for universal health care, they're for a living wage, they're for taxing the wealthy, they're for lowering the tax brackets and the tax liability on the working class in this country. They could be for making sure that women's health care is protected, that same-sex rights are protected. They could align with a candidate 98% of the time, but that candidate does two things that they don't like, and that's it. They're never going to fucking vote for that candidate again, regardless of the fact that the other guy is that fucking bad. Right? What you see a lot of now, for example, is the TikTok ban. He signed the TikTok ban, so I'm never going to fucking vote for him. So you guys out there that say that, you're honestly going to tell me that your need to access this specific social media platform is so great that you are willing to risk letting the other guy win. And oh, by the way, the other guy also wants the TikTok ban, tried to do it when he was president unilaterally without the act of Congress, and is a full-blown fascist. It makes no fucking sense. The extremism makes no fucking sense. Listen, once again, do I wish that we had 6, 7, 8 reliable, viable candidates heading into election day? Yes, of course I do. But that is not the fucking reality of the world we live in. And it's time for people to wake up and realize the reality of the world we're living in, or they are going to hand us another Trump presidency. It's that simple. Now, I still don't think Trump's going to win. The independents are not going to vote for Trump. We are seeing in the suburbs and the places just outside of the urban areas that they are done with Trumpism. The rural areas are still all in for Trumpism. But the suburbs definitely are not, and the urban areas definitely are not. And you're going to split some of the urban area vote by having some of these protest votes peel off. But you combine the fact that the suburban independents are done with Trumpism, and then you see within the Republican Party, 1 in 5 are not voting for him in the primary. And I know people say, well, when it comes to the general election, they're going to hold their nose and they're going to vote for him. Maybe not. I think that there are a lot of people in the Republican Party that are done with Trump too. And they may never vote for Joe Biden, but they're definitely not going to vote for Donald Trump. And they're willing to deal with another 4 years of Joe Biden in order to be forever done with Donald Trump. There are a lot of things on the fucking line. And people with their protest votes, Like I said in a million other videos, and I'll say in a million more videos between now and Election Day, they better be ready to own the results. You want to walk in and vote third party? You want to walk in and abstain from the presidential vote? That is your right to do so. Just know what the end result could be. And watch my last video in regards to the Supreme Court and what's on the line there with whoever is the president next.